Thanks for hosting this, Tara. It's awesome.
All right, I'm so excited. This is something very last minute. We've been planning this, but tonight, literally like less than 2 hours ago, we decided this is the time. We're all available at 8 o'clock tonight. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's joining us live. And if you weren't able to join us live, this is why we record. So right now, I am recording and I'm really excited to share an incredible story, a story that I only learned about a few months ago. And from that point on, I've been learning more about this man and following him and in his group so that I can really see what's going on in his life, because I think this kind of story is what we need to hear more about. So Dave, I'd like to welcome you first of all to the call because this is about you tonight. So Dave, thank you for coming and joining us.
About me.
All about you, that's right. I also want to welcome Zane because Zane has helped Dave get to where he is for certain ways. Obviously, part of the journey is about who we know, who we meet along the way, and who helps support us. And that's what I'm hoping that comes from this interview, as well as that you even have more supporters for your journey.
Definitely.
Yeah. So Zane, thank you for being here tonight and organizing this.
Oh, well, thank you.
Excellent. And I know there's probably people that are going to be popping on. I hope it doesn't distract anyone from the real purpose of why we're here. But like I said, this will be recorded. So if you have heard something that really resonates with you and you feel that this is a really great story to share, I know that we have Dave's permission to share it away. The more listeners, the more people that tune into this, the more his story and his vision can come alive, as well as everybody else that is impacted by what Dave has gone through and what he's about to go through. So Dave, I did mention before we started that I don't have anything specifically prepared, because if anyone knows me, I'm very much a person that lives in the moment. And if it is too prepared, I feel like it's a little too structured, a little too robotic. So I hope that's all right with you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So my question to start off with, just to give everybody a bit of a background, is how was your life? Now, I don't even know how long ago this whole journey started for you. Obviously, to go right to the beginning might be a long story, but we would love to know the history of where you're at and how you became a wounded warrior.
Yeah, well, long story short, so I had my accident 28 years ago, actually, 1990. So I had my accident 6 days before my 19th birthday. Training in Gagetown. The truck I was in hit a patch of black ice and went off a 30-foot cliff. So I broke my back in 5 places, broke my neck, lots of other trauma and stuff like that. So I basically, my family was told I had a 50-50 chance within the next 24 hours if I made it through the next 24 hours. So that was my start at I call it my start at my new life, my second chance. So, and it's, I've never had that feel sorry for myself or, had bad days. I mean, everybody has bad days, but I've always accomplished something or had goals. So that's always kept me moving throughout my 28 years for sure.
Wow, 28 years. And to think that so many people at the age you were when you had this massive injury are just starting their life. They've got dreams. You must have had massive dreams that came shattering down.
Yeah, well, I mean, I joined the military to make it I was going to be my lifelong career was when I joined the military. So then, if my accident happened and it was, till I transitioned, I moved back with my parents and stuff like that. So, and I went through the first stages. I didn't work. I didn't do anything. And then I went back to university for a year. Wasn't really for me, but I did end up working and stuff like that. But I've always, even before my accident, I've always been into fitness. I've always ran, with the military. I was on the biathlon team, cross country skiing and shooting. So I've always had a fitness background. So, and I've applied that, after the fact. I didn't figure it could really slow me down. So I've applied that to my life daily after the fact.
That's incredible. And that's a massive mindset. I'm just going to see if I can mute whoever we have speaking in the background. You don't even realize it. That's okay. At this point, I'll just, still sounds like it's coming from me. I don't know if I'm getting an echo on mine. That is strange. Here, I'm just going to mute all and I'll unmute you, Dave. Okay. All right. We don't hear that anymore. Can you still hear me?
Nope. Sounds good.
Okay, perfect. That's great.
Good.
So, and I will allow people to jump out and ask questions afterwards, but for now, we'll just keep the background noise at a silence. So, when I think of your story, just to start off with, I had no idea the longevity of this whole journey for you. Really, you've been, in this position where now, do I understand you do not have use of your legs? Is that correct?
No, I'm paralyzed about mid rib cage down, so I have no core muscles at all. Yeah.
Wow. And just seeing some of the videos that you shared, and I would love afterwards, I'm going to share your group page so that people can follow you in this whole journey of getting to the Invictus Games, and that's part of what we're going to talk about as well. But seeing some of your training and some of the things that you're doing daily to get ready for these games is incredible. And to think that you don't even have the core strength, which most of us, we take that for granted when we're pushing through and feeling so sorry for ourselves that we're sore or that we can't get through the reps that we're putting in front of us. So what does it take for you to stay so determined, knowing that you know what it's like to have full use of your body, but now for 28 years not having that? How do you get through each day? Obviously, like you said, you have bad days like everyone else, but you'd think you'd have a lot more than us. So how do you get through that?
Not really. I mean, I don't even look at anything I've done or anything I do. Me personally, I don't look at it as anything different than somebody able-bodied that's doing anything. I'm just living my life, and I have goals, and I set my goals, and I mean, I go from there. But my training and stuff is, it's people that watch my group page, it's getting more and more intense as I go. I'm starting to do time trials now for my rowing. So I'm setting my pace, for the next 6 months to get to the game. So I've managed to coach a para rowing coach from Sudbury, Thomas Merritt. He has volunteered to coach me. He actually helped coach the gold medalist last year in rowing for Team Canada for the games, which is huge. So he's via Facebook and everything else, and then he's coming up every 2 weeks on his own time to help coach me. And then I've got Larry Shepard, who is known, I think, mostly across Ontario for his powerlifting and his coaching and stuff like that. He's taken me under his wing with a few of his students from Canadore, and one of the Valhalla Powerlifting Club coaches and referees, Zach. He's training me now throughout till the end of my 6 months till I go to Australia. So I'm in good hands as far as training, which just helps me that much more. Any little bit of an edge I can get is going to help.
Absolutely.
But my training, I don't know. I've been in my chair so long that I don't look back about, when I was able-bodied or anything like that. I just look at it. I got dealt the hand I got and move forward, and that's it. It is what it is.
And we can choose to let it define us or to
definitely
propel us forward, right? And obviously this is what you've done with your mindset. And
I look at life. I live very comfortably. I have a roof over my head, food on the table. I have great friends, great family. So, I couldn't ask for anything more, for sure.
Wow. What an awesome attitude to have. I love it. Now, can you tell us a little bit more? I know people here obviously know that you've been selected to be in the Invictus Games. So how did that process all come to be?
Well, so last year I was approached very last minute to be a flag bearer because the games were in Toronto last year. So all the bases had a flag ceremony. So I was asked to be in the flag ceremony last year. I got talking to a few of the people that were involved in the games, and because they had known my story through Veterans Affairs and stuff like that, and they approached me and said, you need to register for the games for 2018. And I didn't think anything of it because I had had my accident 28 years ago. So I thought the games were more for recently injured, recently wounded. So I figured, I'm going to fill out an application, and send in my bio and everything anyways. And that was in September, I believe, last year. Never heard anything. And then February, I think it was February 12th of this year, I had opened my email and there was a confirmation letter there. So,
That's amazing.
pretty cool.
That is cool. I just got goosebumps thinking about that, opening that.
Yeah.
Now, so what events? I know that you posted it once, but can you tell the listeners what events you're actually in?
Yeah, so I'm confirmed and registered now. So powerlifting, rowing, and wheelchair basketball.
Wow, incredible.
So basically, I'm training for 3 sports basically all the time simultaneously. So it's like today I was about 3.5 hours of training today. I literally just got home from the gym about 20 minutes ago.
Well, and thank you for fitting us in, because I know this was kind of a stretch for us to try to fit it in before the weekend.
Yeah, no problem at all.
So thank you. Now, that was my next question. I was actually thinking, what does your average day look like as you prepare?
So my powerlifting training is Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So Wednesdays are my heavy days with my coach Zach. The other 2 days I'm on my own. So Sundays now, my girlfriend she goes to the gym with me and works out with me on Sundays. And then my rowing is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then I have a cardio day of rowing, just an easy rowing on Saturdays. And then next week or the week after, I have to start traveling to Sudbury actually every Tuesday. It's the closest wheelchair basketball team I can practice with. So I'll be, for the next 6 months now, I'll be driving to Sudbury every Tuesday there and back for basketball practice too. So
Wow.
Incorporating that into my workout somewhere. I don't know where yet, but
Your life is full.
I eat and work out. That's pretty much about it.
Yes. Now, as we talk about eating, obviously we know that you have been supplying some of your nutrients through Isagenix.
Yeah.
And many people listening today are part of Isagenix, some aren't. But can you tell me a little bit about how you got started with Isagenix?
Zane actually, I don't even remember what my Facebook post was, but it was something to do with an energy drink. I think I had posted, that I was having one before a workout. Zane actually, and I think he contacted me through Messenger, I believe. I kind of sort of knew Zane before through Leon's, I think it was at the time. And, he said, have you heard of the Isagenix and the e-shots and stuff like that? And I said, no, not at all. So we had set up a meeting. He came to the house and introduced me to the product. And I said, well, getting this, and this. And that's got to be 1.5 years ago now, at least. And at the time when I met Zane, I was actually, my life was stressful. I was sore. I wasn't working out hardly. I'd lost a lot of weight, which was really not normal for me. I've worked out all my life. And I wasn't eating because of being stressed. So I got on the isolene shakes, because at least I could drink those, and started to put some weight on. Got back to the gym, and it's been an uphill climb since then. So it's been great for sure.
That's incredible. I love to hear stories like that, because some people think Isagenix is for weight loss, and that's what a lot of mindsets go to. Oh, I don't need to lose weight. And here's an example of you wanting to gain weight and get your fitness back.
And that's what I used it to gain weight. That's what I did to put my weight back on. So, and then since then, I still use the Isolene Pro shakes because I'm on so many calories a day now. But their performance products, like their AMP products, are phenomenal. I was telling Zane I had went off the Isagenix for a while, and I was using a cheaper product, a less superior product, and I noticed a difference in a month. Huge difference.
Wow.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's not to say that I want people to do that, but sometimes we don't realize how good we feel until we stop feeling like that again.
Exactly.
Taking something out of our system that has been improving ourselves, right? So that's really awesome to hear that Isagenix has been such a great thing for you. I don't know if we can share the news. Maybe this isn't.
I haven't said anything just because I have no idea. I haven't had the go ahead or from anybody. So Zane would be the one to ask, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, well, let's keep that under wraps unless Zane knows more. Zane, are you there to step out and say the yay or nay? And I want to be completely, the good thing is if we can't share it right now, it's okay because it'll eventually be shared.
Exactly.
Stay tuned for people that are.
There's hands working at getting Dave some great assistance from Isogenics in his journey. Let's just say that. There's been background work going on for about 2 to 3 weeks now with a few different people from our upline all the way up to corporate. And all the details are just coming together actually in the last 2 or 3 days, really, Dave, right? So
yeah.
Personally, I'm really excited about that, because to have a company step up to help out is awesome, and Dave representing is even bigger. I mean, it's going to be an awesome journey for him, and we're all excited for it. But that's I think we'll leave the rest till everything's done and complete, and we'll go from there.
Yes. Absolutely, and I think that just gives everyone a taste for what's actually to come, and that's the other thing I want to ask to Dave is thank you, Zane, for that, because we don't want to go too fast with it, right? But with Dave, so obviously there's a lot of costs associated with going to the Invictus Games, things that not many of us would even understand.
Yeah.
So share with us a little bit about that.
So as far as my camp travel, like there was a camp in Victoria. I'm in Halifax. I believe it's the end of July. I'm in Halifax for a week for training camp. And then my actual Australia trip, that's all covered. I mean, all my flight, my meals while I'm there, my accommodations. But I have stuff like that. So I've had to purchase a rowing machine. And I wanted to make sure I purchased the same machine that I'm going to be rowing on in Australia, just so there's no variation there when I get on the machine. I'm going to eventually have to buy some adaptive seating for it. The rowing club in Sudbury has donated seating for me to use, which is great, because it's $900 US just for my seat for my rower, my adaptive seating. And then stuff like, my grocery bills are insane. My supplements, my Isogenics products, stuff like that. My trips to Sudbury now back and forth. I'm going to be back and forth to Sudbury once a week. So I've got that cost incurred too. So gym memberships, stuff like that. So it adds up. And I knew I was going to have it going in. And it's, for the reward I'm getting out of it, it is what it is.
Yeah. And if there's anything that, and I've certainly been brainstorming, and I'm sure that as people are watching this is the beauty of sharing a story like this, is that there's so many people out there willing to help, and with great ideas that could come forward for you to really start earning, those rewards also to pay for those things. There's so many just giving people, right? So one thing I was hoping to do this weekend is for anyone who's coming to the event, and some of you might watch this after the 5th of May, and that's okay. There's still time to help Dave out, but I'm going to do a raffle. So for anyone that is coming to the event in Barrie on Saturday the 5th, I will be sharing a bit about Dave's story, and we'll also be doing a raffle for some really awesome seasonal products that are not available all year round, and some other really great things. And then whatever proceeds from that, I know it might not be a lot, it might be a little bit, who knows, but anything that we make through that, I'm definitely going to be sending your way to go towards whatever you need it for. So
I appreciate that. That's great.
Yeah, and if any other ideas come forward, guys, for anyone who's watching this tonight, if you have any ideas, any ways that you can help Dave out, please, by all means, connect with any one of us, and we'll make sure that Dave gets the funding that he's so much.
So we do have a fundraiser planned.
Oh, great.
For I believe it's May 29th. I can confirm that. I'm pretty sure.
Is that in North Bay? I didn't say where you live.
Yeah, so it's going to be in North Bay at Algonquin High School.
Okay.
Just give me 2 seconds here, and I'm pretty sure it's May 29th. May 29th at 7 p.m.
Okay.
So what it is my girlfriend Lynn Boissonneau, she's a yoga instructor. So she is donating her time. So there's going to be basically it's going to be 90 minutes. So there's going to be a 60-minute yoga class. and then a 30-minute yoga class with Ryan Farquhar, or meditation with Ryan Farquhar.
Oh, wow.
He's donated his time. I used to work with Ryan at the dealership, so he's going to donate his time as well. Both of them are highly trained in their field that they're in. And we've been accumulating unbelievable door prizes. So we're going to, whoever shows up, we'll put their name in. We've got like some great gift certificates, and Christopher Farquhar, who does magic shows, Christoph the Magician, he's donated a birthday party magic show. So yeah, there's lots of great door prizes. We're slowly picking up door prizes and stuff like that too. So anybody wants to go, it's a minimum $25 donation at the door. And anybody that wants to go, just bring a yoga mat and can participate. We have the whole gymnasium, so lots of room.
That's great. And if people are not local to you, are they able to still support that, either by sending prizes or cash?
Definitely. Oh, definitely. Whether it be, they want to send door prizes, or they want to, I believe on my group page, I believe my email address is on there, whether it be e-transfers or, however they'd like to do it.
Excellent. That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that would want to help if they can't be there physically. So that's great. I have just a few more questions that I know that would be really helpful. And if I'm missing anything that you feel is really important to share, please, by all means, jump in and say something. But and I could probably answer this myself, but many times we're told, to focus on the now, to be in the moment, and really allow ourselves to move forward based on what we're excited about now, right? What would you say you're really excited about right now?
I think most people would say the games, but I've actually just last week, I got my acceptance letter. I'm going back to college, 47 years old, going back to school on top of everything else I'm doing.
Wow.
But I've always been so passionate about fitness and, helping other people out. So I'm going into strength and sport conditioning at Canadore. So they have a 2-year program there, and I can opt to do a year in Ireland after that if I want, and I can get my bachelor's out of it, which allows me to teach or coach at the Paralympic level. So, which is huge. It's going to be a lot, but because I'm going to be starting in September, so I've still got 2 months to train for the games.
Oh, wow.
In that time too. So yeah, it's a bit much, but go big or go home, I guess.
I guess so. And it sounds like you are the right person for it. You've got the mindset, you've got the
So that's more what I'm excited about right now. The games definitely, I'm excited about, but just this has been something I've been pondering for actually a few years now, going back to school. So I've finally made the decision, and I think it's a little bit of everything with the games, and just that I'm probably in better shape than I've been in probably 12 years. I tell Zane this all the time. I'm probably in better shape than, I've been in 12 years. So, and then future plans, if I can qualify, is I'm hoping to go to the Pan Am Games next year in Lima. And then if I can get qualified for the Paralympics in 2020, hopefully, if my body holds out.
Well, the rate you're going, I would think that it will. So
hopefully.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Well, it is a lot of stress to put your body through too. So I understand that. Yeah. For sure.
But I'm adamant. I go to sports physio once a month and massage therapy every 2 weeks and stuff like that. So it all helps, definitely.
Excellent. That's wonderful. One last word here. I just would love, and if you're okay with it, we'll open it up to questions after, if that's all right.
Yep.
But one question, do you have any words of wisdom for people who are watching either live or recorded, for people who are going through personal, physical, emotional stress challenges right now? Because you've gone through it all, right? You've gone through it all. Do you have any words of wisdom for those people right now who are suffering?
I just look at it. I had my second chance at life, and it was, I've always looked forward. I've just always had the mentality that no matter how bad your life is, there's always somebody worse off than you are. Always. There's always that one person that's, a lot worse off than you are. But, the more you sit around and contemplate it, whether you need to, whether it's psychological, if you need to go talk to somebody, go talk to somebody, whether it be a friend, family, or if you're contemplating losing weight or going to the gym, the more you sit and wait, the longer it's going to take. So, I mean, it's do it now. That's the thing. I've always been like that. I mean, most of the stuff I've done, it's spur of the moment, literally. I did the Enbridge ride for cancer. It's got to be about 6 years ago now, which is, I basically hand cycled 256 kilometers in 2 days from Niagara Falls to Toronto. And there was a commercial on TV one night, and I said, I think I can do that. So I signed up and ordered a bike and and then just, I mean, did the ride. It sucked doing it, but I did it and I completed it. So, but I think people, if they can do more, be more spontaneous, more spur of the moment, I think in life's too short to, I mean, be down in the dumps or be negative or, you know, and I've adapted probably the past 3 or 4 months. I meditate every morning, and I mean, it's huge. If people haven't done it, I mean, try it or, I mean, come to my fundraiser. It's, you know, your opportunity to try it with probably one of the best people that could teach you in Canada.
Wow, incredible. And when people, like I know some people might be glazed over with the whole idea of meditation. I know I would have been a few years ago. Do you recommend a certain strategy? Like, is there somewhere people can go other than your fundraiser where they can learn it, or is it just not that complicated?
Yeah, well, I mean, I started off I did like everybody else. I found an app that somewhat worked for me. I went that route and still was having a little bit of issues. So I actually, because I know Ryan, so I contacted Ryan, and he actually spent some time with me. And he's actually going to be amping up some workshops in the near future. Probably, I'm thinking in the next few weeks, he may be announcing it at my fundraiser too. I'm not sure. But he's going to be announcing some fundraisers too, or some workshops and stuff, they're great. They're week-long workshops that he does.
Oh, great.
He helped me a lot. I went and sat with him for about 2 hours one day. And I mean, he does meditation. He does wellness coaching as well, which is huge. It's a huge help, you know, puts a lot of stuff into perspective. Mm-hmm. So I just look at whatever little edge I can get out of life, you know, whether it be mentally, physically, getting these coaches that I have now. I'm just, whatever little bit of an edge I can get. You know, the motto for the Invictus Games is it's about camaraderie and, you know, getting adapted back into life and helping others out. But on top of all that, I'm not going there without coming home with at least one medal. That's my thing.
Yes.
Yeah, one way or another.
And I believe it'll happen. I know it will, just with your determination.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Wonderful. Is there anything else you want to add that I didn't ask today?
No, I think that pretty much sums it up, I think.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I will just open up the lines. If anybody would like to come out and ask a question, or if you want to type one in the chat, let me just see if I can unmute everybody. Actually, I think you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, there we go. That way I can unmute people if you're watching something in the background with your child or whatever. So if anyone has a question or comment, please come out and share it.
Well, I do. I've learned in the last year and a half, like Dave said, the Facebook post that he posted where I commented about it, he was holding an energy drink, and I meant the whole mention, and this all came about from just saying, have you ever tried E+ shots? And I've never, you know, from Dave's appearance, and not just, I'm sure he gets this, but from Dave's appearance, you think rough and gruff, but you know, the kindest, most generous person has come into my life through Dave, and I'm so glad it has happened with or without Isogenics. And one of the nicest guys, and a hard worker, and the most optimistic person that I probably know of, and a great Dave. You're a great ambassador to Invictus. To your disability or your ability, and I can't say enough. Like, I remember us sitting down the first time and you saying, yeah, I'm going to do this, and I was ecstatic just to see you. And then the first time you posted yourself like this, and you could see you just the energy coming in you, and I think that energy always existed no matter what. I mean, you didn't mention, but you've mentioned to me that you also played professional basketball, right?
Yeah, I played for a basketball team in Arizona.
Yeah.
Because it was a team that was sponsored by the Phoenix Suns, actually. Yeah, I did a few seasons down there.
Yeah. So what did like you've had an adventurous life, and this it amazes me. I'm like I love it because that's such an adventurous
Yeah.
life. So I'm more excited, and every time I talk to somebody about it, they get more excited. And I know there's a whole crew of isogenics people in Australia that are going to be excited when you get there as well. So you're going to have support from all across the globe, and including the isogenics community. So it's awesome, great brother.
Well, you helped create this monster, so
I just kind of showed you something, and you took it off from there. So
Awesome. I love how humble you both are. That's something that is noticed. I just want you guys to know that I see you, and I really appreciate you both. It's hard to find people.
Well, yeah, if anything, it's made me more humble, I think, which is weird. It's, I mean, I'll be out somewhere, and I think it was at the gym the other day, and someone came up to me and said, I'm following you on your group page, and I just wanted to wish you luck, and stuff like that. So it's little things like that. I find it's really humbling. I was approached by a friend of my family. They have a friend that her daughter is she's 16 years old, and she's in Toronto currently. As was 4 days ago now, they had to amputate her leg at the thigh due to cancer, and she may lose the other leg. But I was approached by the family if I would be willing to mentor this girl, which is huge. So I've agreed. Sorry.
That's okay. What this is all about.
That's the kind of stuff though that hits home for me. That somebody would approach me to mentor somebody that's going through that kind of a life change. So, yeah. So
Thank you for being so open.
I think it's a huge thing to share. Just that, there's a perfect example. There's a 16-year-old, girl is just starting her life as a teenager, and she's an avid soccer player, stuff like that. And so now she's, back to square one. So hopefully I'll be able to help her. I had people that helped me when I had my accident. So hopefully, I'll be able to help her and maybe introduce her to some sports, introduce her to the right people, and she can, not so much in soccer, but she can move on with other sports in her life for sure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Wow, you are a perfect candidate to help her out. That's for sure. It's very important to have you. I saw some chat messages pop up here. I don't want to miss anything because on the recording we won't see these. We've got Peggy saying, wow, thank you, Dave. Such an inspiration. I feel like you're the perfect person for the mentoring job. And another person, Shan, said, so amazing and incredibly inspiring. You are making a difference in so many lives. Thank you for sharing. Wow. All right. Well, you know what? What I will leave everybody with, if there's no other questions that come up, is something I just read on the Invictus Games website. And I can see that this is exactly what it is about. It says the Invictus Games is about much more than just sport. It captures hearts, it challenges minds, and it changes lives. And Dave, I'm just so honored to know that you are part of this Invictus Games in 2018, representing Canada, representing your community, representing your family, and every single person who has gone through the challenges that you have or that will go through those challenges. So thank you so much for your dedication. I saw another message come up here. I don't want to miss anything. And Amy said, thank you, Tara, Dave, and Zane. And thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming and sharing this evening with us and for sharing the recording with as many people as you can to get Dave's.
Perfect.
thank you very much, Tara, for making this possible.
Absolutely. And one more message popped up here. Mark said, I'm honored to have you as my teammate.
That's Mark's my partner in crime.
Excellent.
I think we're a little bit of the comedy team for the Invictus team. So
Is Mark on the is Mark training as well?
yeah, Mark Andrews. So you can also he's got a group page as well. So he's from Petawawa, so he's very close to home. Mark Andrews, Invictus Games. You can follow his group page as well. He definitely he did some tours, so he's he needs to be well represented as well. I think he's trains as hard as I am. He's as bullheaded as I am. And some of the stories of, I mean, as I'm getting to know my teammates, some of the stories and the hard work they're putting in and stuff is, I mean, there's lots of people that make me humble, for what they went through, overseas and stuff like that, to what they're doing now is great. It's unbelievable.
The strength, the strength, and yeah, I just can't even imagine what it takes to do that. So thank you for all you're doing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, everybody. Thanks, Zane. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. And we look forward to sharing Dave's story around and for cheering you on at the games.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Cheers, guys.